Alrighty guys, Rooster here, and I have myself some case fans by the one and only Noctua, and these in particular are the NF-P14 Redux. Now just to go ahead and get it out of the way, the whole point of the Redux line of fans from Noctua is essentially a stripped down version of the fans that they're known for. I mean, it's a different color as well. Most people know Noctua to have that kind of clay, reddish color with a little bit of beige, which some love, some don't. But for me, it's no big deal. But nonetheless, this is clearly a different color, kind of a gray with charcoal in there, if you will, or 2 shades of gray, not 50 shades of gray. That's for another video, just to point out. But anyway, so a stripped down version that's going to bring down the price and make it more available and accessible to many people on a budget, as system builders, modders, or if you're just an entry-level gamer, you want better performance in your system, better airflow, and silent operation, you're going to get that. But things like vibration dampeners and whatnot, that is going to be left out of this line of fans, hence, well, stripped down, and therefore bring down the price. But you're still going to get the Noctua quality, and you're still going to get the performance at a reduced cost. So anyway, moving along, we're going to look at the fan here. You have a square frame. This is 140 millimeters, by the way, so you can see clearly a different color for the Redux line, as I mentioned earlier. These fans are going to run at, well, 12 volts. You can undervolt them to run them, clearly slower and more silent that way. If you want to use a fan controller or whatnot, if your case has a fan speed selector switch like my white R5. These are 4-pin PWM, by the way, so you can, it depends, if you have a fan controller, if they're 3-pin, you can maybe go ahead and just like slice a side out of one of the connectors on your fan controller, but then that way they're going to be running full speed, you're not going to be controlling it much. But the good thing about 4-pin PWM, you can control it via your motherboard's utilities in the BIOS or in Windows, depending what your motherboard has. These are going to run up to 1500 RPMs plus or minus 10%. Bearing in this is SSO, which makes a big difference. It's not fluid dynamic. It's kind of an improved version of that fluid dynamic, but it's not sleeve bearing. It's not going to be noisy. There's hardly any whir or motor noise at all. And on top of that, you get a magnet along with their improved, hydro bearing technology right in the middle. That's going to help with the self-stabilizing of the rotor axis. So the operation of this motor is just going to be pretty frickin' silent. And I have no complaints so far on my testing. As you can see here in my white Define R5, I went ahead and put it on the front for now, just to bring extra air toward my graphics card, toward my hard drive area. I may use these in the future for a, 280 millimeter radiator setup, but I've yet to, come across, or rather get myself an all-in-one, water cooling loop. So we'll see in the next future. If you guys... near future rather. If you guys want to see a video on them, be sure to like this video on that, and I'll see what I could do. So also to mention, being that these are the Redux line and with a different color, it is going to fit more options when it comes to aesthetics, when it comes to your case theme, the more gray, shades of gray, being that they're just more of a neutral color, they may fit more. Well, whatever themes you may want to go for with different colors and whatnot, it's not going to be so much of an issue anymore with the kind of clay and beige color that some of other Noctua's fans, have, which I don't have really any problem with that color. But if you are going for a particular, specific aesthetic, something themed, then it may be a turnoff. But then clearly this is another option for you, being that it's a more neutral color. So do keep that in mind. And finally, to point out through my testing here, having it in my case, mostly just as case fans, as I would love to try these fans out on a bigger tower cooler, but I don't have any currently that these are going to fit on. It's not like I can take my Dark Rock Pro 3 and just put these fans on it. It doesn't fit that way, which is no problem. But for now, as case fans, the airflow is significant. It's good. They're working well. They're very silent. Now, if you do put them up to the 1500 RPMs, you will hear them more, significantly more. They're not very noisy, but also that my R5 has sound dampening. That does help, so I don't really care. But the whir kind of noise, maybe a little bit of motor noise, but more so the air passing through is going to be significantly, heard more the higher the RPMs are. I would say unless you're really overclocking, doing something crazy, keep it at 800, 1000 RPMs. If you can keep it down in your motherboard's BIOS, via PWM headers, of course. And yeah, or your fan controller if you want to go ahead and plug into one. But as far as where these fans sit, I'd say this is a good middle ground for static pressure and airflow, because the spacing between the fins, the blades, it's not, very tight, and it's not fairly open. It's kind of right in the middle, so I would say this would be great as just a case fan, pushing through some hard drive cages or a mesh, or even for a radiator. I think it would do great as both. And maybe in the near future I'll try compare this fan with other fans I may have coming in soon, and just do a head-to-head kind of thing and let you know how that fares, so you guys know. So if you want to see that, be sure to like this video, and if you like this video in general, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Leave me some comments below, critique it, let me know what you would like to see in future videos, or what you would like to see done with these fans. Noctua will be looking at the feedback. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks guys for watching as usual, and see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe.